Hey, Christy here from Loom Crafty Fiber Arts. Today we're going to do part 6 of our Fading Winter Cowl Loom Along. And this is going to be 6 rows we're going to do today. Some of them are rows that we've done before in different sections, but they're going to be constructed in a different way, so to speak. So I have caught up with y'all finally, and if you're doing it along with me on this loom, this is what it should look like. Now if you're doing it on the KB, it's going to be, you may have a little more length with the KB because the stitches are going to be a little bigger because the pegs are bigger. So you may have a little more length than I have here, and we'll adjust to that later on. And if you want to bind off at a certain time, we'll talk about that later on as we get a little further along. We're going to be doing this section. Let's see if I can show it to you right here. This little section right here. Without a camera, sorry about that. It's kind of hard to see on this in this light, but it's a little section that we're going to do most of it, and then I'm going to finish it up next time. I don't want to have you doing too many rows at a time, get overwhelmed, because these little projects that I do like this, sometimes that I do a lot of stitch combinations and stuff, they take a while to finish, but they're worth it in the end. And I think if you've been working along with me, I think you can see that's true, because it's just so much combination here that in the end, though, it'll come out. And if you have been following me along till now, 1 through 6, this was supposed to be a figure 8 stitch up here, and the original did have figure 8, but it wasn't turning out the way I wanted it to look, and I changed it up to this, which is the pigtail, one of my pigtail lace stitches. I can't remember which one this is now. Anyway, that's what this one is. So if you've been following me along, that's why there's a change up here, but it's actually made it a little bit lacier, which I kind of like. So we'll get started on these 6 stitches, 6 rows, excuse me, and we will work on that today, and then we'll move forward again next week. Let me adjust my camera just a little bit. It's just down just a little too low. Okay, so my yarn mixed up with my tail yarn. Our first row is going to be a purl 1, knit 1. So if you have been working much with loom knitting, you know purl 1, knit 1 is easy to do, but I'm going to go over it briefly just in case. So what I'm going to do is, we're coming from our last peg here from our last row, which should have been a purl. Last time the whole row was purl, so this should have been a purl. We're coming from our last peg, and then you're just going to do peg 1, you're going to do a purl, and I'm not going to go over too much about how you do a purl, because by now if you've been following me you know. And then a knit 1, and this knit 1 is going to be an E-wrap knit stitch. So you're just going to be alternating all the way around. Purl 1, and a E-wrap. Oh, lost my stitch there. There we go. And an E-wrap knit 1. Again, alternating purl and E-wrap knit all the way around till you get back to peg 1. Okay, now like before, I use a small loom to save me time and you time too, hopefully. So we're just going to pretend we've went ahead and done our purl 1, knit 1 all the way around the loom. And I'm just going to give you a little visual here so you'll know. Okay, so now we're back to our last peg, getting ready to start peg 1 again. Okay, so the second row of this episode, we're going to do a U-wrap. Peg 1, and peg 2 and 3 and so on around the loom. So all you're going to do is a U-wrap. I've not done a U-wrap yet on this, so if you've never done a U-wrap, you come from the back of your previous peg. You lay your yarn across the top above your loop and make a U shape, just like that. See? Just like that. Make a U shape. And depending on, some people pull it around ways, some people, you know, it just depends on which way you pull it as to how loose your stitch is. I usually kind of go straight back. That's the way I usually do mine. But you don't want to pull it hard. You just want to kind of hold your yarn back there, because if you pull it too hard, it's going to make your stitches too tight. And we're just going to do that all the way around your loom. Okay, so your second row is going to be all U-wraps. Alright, now we're going to pretend we've done all our U-wraps all the way around, and we're going to come back to peg 1 again. Okay, so the third row in this set for episode 6, we're going to do all purls. And I've showed you how to do purls, so I'm not going to really go over that again too much, but we're going to do purls, nothing but purls, all the way around the loom. Okay? Just an easy purl stitch all the way around. Alright? So that's the third row, all purls. So we're going to go around again, pretend we've purled all the way around. Coming back to our first peg. And then, for the fourth row in this episode, we're going to do all purl overs. And my purl overs, I do an E-wrap. I'm coming from my last peg, going to the first, do an E-wrap around, skip up from the bottom, pull that loop down, flip it over the peg, and snug it up a little bit with my working yarn. But don't snug it up too much. Again, if you do, it'll make your stitches too hard to knit off next time. So let's do that again. E-wrap around, coming from your peg before it. Scoop up from the bottom. Pull your loop down, back over, snug it up. So that whole row, row 4 in this segment will be, episode will be purl overs. Okay. Now, if I'm moving too fast when I do these like this, let me know. I'll slow down. But most of you already know how to do these stitches, and I'm just kind of telling you, what you need to do all the way around for each row. Okay, so row 5. We're going to pretend that we have done our purl overs all the way around the loom. So we'll give you this little visual again. We went all the way around. Row 5, we're going to do wrap 2. You come in from this peg, wrap 2, knit off, knit off. It's like a big old E-wrap when you wrap both of them, and purl the second peg. If you've done many of my stitches, you know how to do this one. So let's just put this over here where we pretend like we wrapped all the way around behind, so it won't be in the way, so I can do another demonstration for you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're coming from now our second peg. We'll wrap 2, coming from behind peg number 2. You're going to wrap around the back side of 3 and 4, back around the front like a big old E-wrap. You'll knit them off, both of them. Then you bring a working yarn down between facing you, those 2 pegs you just knit off, and you purl the second peg. You'll do this all the way around the loom. You'll be working in sets of 2. Okay, so that is row 5. Wrap 2, knit off, purl second peg. Whole row. Okay. So here we go again. We're going to go back around the loom again, pretend we finished that. And then for row 6, and this is the last one of this episode, this segment, until next time, we are going to just knit 1, purl 1. So we're going to do an E-wrap knit stitch and a purl stitch. And you're going to do that all the way around the loom. So knit one, purl one. Knit one, purl one. Okay? And then you'll do that all the way around till you get back to peg one, and then we'll pick that back up next time. And you should have something that looks like this when you finish what I just described what you're doing. I've got my, just never mind, I've got my yarn hung up here. This right here in this area. I'm in the out of camera. You can see a little more right here, a little better. And we should start building a little more length after this on it. Should be gaining a little bit more ground. So that's all I have today. If you have, again, any questions, let me know. I will be glad to answer them. You can catch me on Facebook. You can message me here in the comments. You can email me at lemoncraftyfiberarts or lcfiberarts@gmail.com. Both of them's at gmail.com. And I will help you any way I can. Or you can catch me on MeWe. I'm there too. So anytime you have any questions about any of what we're working on, let me know. I hope you're enjoying this. I know I am, and I hope you are too. And there's going to be another one coming after this one when we finish this one. And it's not going to be as involved as this one is. It'll be maybe 3 or 4 parts to it, maybe 5, I don't know, 3, 4, 5. It won't be as many as it is to this one. This one's going to have a lot. So, but have a great day. Bye-bye.